Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here. Let's study the Bible together today. Remember, this is Daily Dose Radio. It's 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. That's my little elevator speech. Come on in and let's do some elevator study today. If you have your Bible, to turn there to Psalm 10, we're going to look at verses 3 and 4. So yesterday we opened this psalm and talking about the grand definition of the wicked. We talked about that outline. We have the questions at the beginning. We have the definition of the wicked, 3 through 13, and then that prayer and confident confession in 14 through 18. I forgot to mention yesterday that this psalm is really a continuation of Psalm 9. Psalm 9 began as an acrostic, and it carries all the way through into Psalm 10. I'm sure whenever they divided out the Psalms that they saw how different this material was from what came before. And even though it looks like one grand acrostic, I mean, missing some letters, but, it's there. Once they saw that, they said, well, this probably should be its own standalone psalm. That's why when I refer to it, sometimes I'll say Psalm 9 and 10 because they kind of just go together. But this is different. And so we don't have an introduction to this psalm. It's not there. It's just a continuation of the acrostic that began in Psalm 9. But different. Because this Psalm 10, like 49, like 73, deals with the problem of wicked, but from a different perspective, because it really focuses in on the wicked man. Now, Psalm 73 does that as well, so does 49, but this one does it more. And so we have what I call this grand definition. And the other thing I failed to mention was there in verse 2, when he talks about the poor man, the wicked in his pride persecutes the poor man. So who's the poor man? Is it just the man who doesn't have a lot of money? No, this is the man who could be that. But it also could be the man who's poor in spirit. So the wicked is against those who seek God, who try to walk after his way. That's the man poor in spirit. He's contrite. He's found his peace in God. And so he's poor from the world's perspective, but he's rich in God's sight. And so the wicked man persecuting the poor man, not just the man who's down on his luck, but also the man who is contrite, trusting in God. Poor in the world's sight, rich in God's sight. All right, well, let's jump right in now to the definition. We've already seen the problem, right? The question is, why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? The problem is the wicked man is doing some stuff. Okay, he's persecuting the poor. The pride of the wicked rages against or burns against the poor. So look at verses 3 and 4. We'll begin our definition. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and he blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. Okay, so that's 3 and 4. Notice here in 3 and 4, we have 3 of these defining attributes. Number 1, he boasts over his soul's desire. He's proud of it. Now, we know in verse 2 it says, in the pride of the wicked, but now we see how proud he is. He's proud of what he wants. And what he wants is wicked. So that's the very first thing. He's proud of this. He's not ashamed of it at all. Number 2, there in verse 3, and he blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhors. So not only is he proud of his own desire, but he's proud of those who are also covetous, because boasting about one's desire is covetousness. And those that are covetous, he delights in them, apparently. The Lord, though, condemns them. But the wicked man doesn't care about that. Number 3, there in verse 4, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. He may intrude into some of his thoughts, and the wicked man would just disregard him. But notice, he, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. He's too proud to seek after God. He has desires, but he's not willing to bend the knee and ask the Lord to meet those needs or those desires, or for him to discipline himself so that he doesn't have the desires that he has. Because some of those desires might be born out of sin. Yeah, so the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. That's a problem. And it's one of the defining factors of wickedness, the pride that does not allow you to pray. Friends, that's a problem. All right, I hope you'll join me tomorrow. And we're going to look at verses 5 and 6 tomorrow. So I hope you'll be here with me here on Daily Dose Radio.